Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. It's 7 degrees Celsius for all those Americans outside right now. So it's not that cold, but it is a little bit chilly, as you can see. And fall is kind of in its prime right now. Everything is so red and beautiful. If you ever get a chance to come to Canada during fall, which is at this time, October, November, you have to come. It's so gorgeous here. It's just literally the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful places in the world. In this one, I wanted to speak to you about the faulty social programming, the faulty social program that we have, not programming, but program that we have as INFJs inside of us. I think of this a lot because I notice that sometimes the program that I have inside of me, the social program that's set up, if I think of myself as a machine or a computer, sometimes I feel like the social program is completely accurate and it tells me what to do exactly the way it's supposed to be done, right? And so I'll go into a social situation, and even though I'm socially awkward normally, almost all the time, even so, I'll go into a social situation and the program's working perfectly and I'm like, all right, yeah, hi, how are you? And, I'm able to kind of banter with them and I'm able to reply back to their comments right away without thinking about it too much. And, we're able to share a few laughs and then I go on my way and everything's fine, So that happens sometimes, very rarely. And then, other times I'll go into a social situation and I literally feel like there's something broken inside of me. That program that's supposed to be telling me, okay, this is what you say now. All right, no, that's not what you say. This is what you say. That is broken. It's completely gone. It's it's not even there anymore. It's where am I? What am I doing? Right? I don't know. And so, I'm standing there and the person says, hi, how are you? Or even something very simple like, hope you have a nice day. I don't even need to reply. And I literally am like, I don't know what to say to this. And internally my program is panicking, what to do now? I don't know what to say. And sometimes what happens to me is I'll just stand there silent. I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna keep silent because it's better than saying something stupid. Sometimes I will say something stupid and my mouth is saying something and my brain's like, nope, that was the wrong thing to say. You should not have said that. That was dumb. Oh my gosh, right? When someone says, hi, how are you? And you say, thank you, goodbye, or something like that, or thanks, have a good day. And the person's like, and you're like, yeah, you as well, or something. I mean, something really inane where you're like, yeah, no, that was not what that was not what I was supposed to say. But silence is usually my first option nowadays, because I notice that when I start speaking, sometimes when the programs are working, I end up saying something really dumb. Not only dumb, but I'm saying things where I'm like, oh my god, I really shouldn't say this because it's gonna make the person feel really bad, and that's really not what I want most of the times. Unless I want to make them feel bad, then it's okay, yeah, cool, great. But most of the times I'm like, I just want a peaceful life. I don't want to say anything mean. I just want to go on with my day, and so silence is the best option, right? So I'll usually stay silent. It's kind of funny because sometimes I'm standing there, and a lot of times it's with situations where I'm like, I really don't like these people. I don't want to talk to them. They're fake somehow, or I just don't like them, or I just don't want to be here, right? And so I'm standing there in front of a social group of people, and they ask me something, and I just stand there. And the time ticks by, and silence stretches out, and you're I'm just standing there thinking, I don't know what to say to this. I could be rude about it, but do I want to be rude? And so internally, my social program is calculating all these things. You could say this, but then they would be sad. You could say that, but then it would make you feel bad, things like that. And my social program is sometimes, as I said, it's completely inept. And I'm standing there thinking, yeah, I don't know what to say. So I just stand there silently, right? And this has happened to me so many times where I'm standing there silently. The others are standing there silently because they're guessing or hoping or wanting me to say something. So we're all standing there silently looking at each other. I'm completely fine with the silence because I'm used to this. This happens to me a lot. They're uncomfortable with it. And then I end up thinking, oh, poor schmuck. Look at them standing there just being so pitiful, I should just say something. And at that point, I'll just be like, all right, I'll just blurt something out. And usually it's the wrong thing to say. Yeah. I remember this one time, I was standing with a group of people, and there was this man, this Caucasian man, very cocky. No, that's not right. He was just very like, oh, look at me, I'm the man, and I'm so awesome, and all women want me kind of thing. That's the kind of man he was. And so he liked to emulate, or I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally, like he liked to emulate Matthew McConaughey, the guy in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, that guy. And so he liked to emulate him, and I noticed that. And of course, like everyone probably saw it as well. But I'm standing there thinking, why is this man doing this? Does he think it's funny? Does he think it's like, why is he being like that? And so of course, no one says anything about it, and he's doing that emulation of like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, and I'm pretending to be someone else. And I could not help myself. My social program that was dead. It was like completely off. And I was like, why are you behaving like that? It makes you look like an idiot. And, I said it, everyone laughed, and like everyone brushed it off, and they were like, oh, that's so funny. I knew you were going to say it. You were the only one who would end up saying things like that. And then after that, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. Because I was thinking it in my head. And sometimes what happens as INFJs is that we're thinking something in our heads, and we want to say it somehow through our mouth, but our mouth and our head is not really connected that perfectly. And so we end up saying something which is not exactly how we wanted to say it. And the person's looking at us, is that, what do you actually mean here, right? Or we end up saying something where we didn't really want to be that mean, but we end up being really mean. Yeah, and that's one of my main things actually. Like, it's very easy for me to cut the person down very quickly and say something like that will cut them down and make them feel like absolutely terrible about themselves, right? But like, that's not my goal in life. I don't want to go around and be that person who makes everyone feel bad about themselves or makes themselves feel terrible. And so I'm really careful. And again, as I said, my default option always ends up being just be silent, just be quiet, don't say anything. Because if I do end up opening my mouth, especially around people that are being annoying or annoying in general, I would say, I just end up saying something that cuts them down and makes me feel bad after. Because I'm like, why did I say that? Yes, they deserved it, but why did I have to do that? Poor people. Like, why do you have to always do this to people? I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to be nice, but the social program that's set up in my head, I don't know how it's been set up, really, actually. Sometimes it makes me wonder as well, who set that program up? And I think it's a genetic thing, partly it's environment, partly it's the fact that I'm an INFJ, partly it's the fact that I am a raging bitch right now, and I'm like, I don't really give a rat's ass about anything. So there's lots of different factors associated with it. But I do notice that there's this part of me that kind of ends up saying a lot of things where I'm like, no, keep your mouth shut, don't say that, don't say that. Oh, you said it. Okay, good, great. And I don't know if you have noticed that about yourself. If you're an INFJ, maybe you've noticed that as well, that your default mode, I think that's the reason why INFJs, even though we have a lot of interesting things to say, even though we have all of these fascinating ideas and thoughts and processes in our head, we don't share them because our default mode has been silenced for so long, that we have been silencing ourselves for so long, that all of a sudden, when it comes down to it, and we're like, yeah, no, actually, I think I could have a conversation here, we don't actually even know how to go about it. Yeah, we don't actually even know. So what should I say? How does a person begin a conversation? Like, what do I say at first? I would like to add something to this. Is that how people start? Is that too formal? And before, like, we're kind of going through all that in our heads, and before we can actually get anything out, they've already moved on to a different topic of conversation, and we're just sitting there thinking, oh, right, okay, that was my chance, and I lost it. Cool. All right, I guess I'm just going to stay silent, right? And so, as I said, our social program, that program that's inside of us, that computer program, that CPU that's running it, is completely broken at points. And at points it like suddenly like vibrate, like runs up again and like, oh right, no, I know what I'm doing right now. And you're like, are you sure? Are you sure you know what you're doing? And it's like, no, I know exactly what you're supposed to say in this moment. And actually that's exactly what I was supposed to say in the moment. So it does come up suddenly all of a sudden. It's like, yeah, no, I know this is what you're supposed to say. Sometimes it does function. Very rarely, but it does. But mostly it doesn't. And so I've kind of gone into mode of like, I don't trust what I am going to say. Now, of course, this is also something that is happening more and more so as I get older, because I spend less and less time with people. And I've always told you, all of you, especially if you're younger, to spend time with people. You need the practice. You need the practice of knowing what to say, when to say it, how to talk to people, when to stop talking, when to start talking, how to start talking, how to stop talking, all of that. All of those are skills, social skills, that our program a lot of times doesn't have. Our social program inside of us is broken, as I said, or it's kind of faulty somehow. And so it doesn't have all of those permutations and combinations. And a lot of times we're missing that. That's why in social situations, as I've said, we end up being silent more often than saying something. I wonder if you related to this or not. I was actually thinking about this faulty social program last night when I was lying in bed. And I was like, no, I think I need to do a video on this. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true for everyone. Maybe it's just true for me, but I have to share it. If you relate, if you don't relate, comment below. I would love to hear from you. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you're subscribing on my channel and liking my videos. Again, thank you so much, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye.